Hey, Andy here. They just released a new version of the Portworx operator, Portworx CSI as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over the release notes. We're going to take a look at some of the new features, and we're actually going to try and upgrade one of my harvester nodes live as per the instructions, and we'll see how it goes. As always, I go to my dzver.rfed.io, and by the way, I've been using Claude to update and clean it up. It's been kind of a game changer, but as we can see, we can go to 26.1.0. We've got the new Portworx CSI driver. We can go to the doc site. I can take you to that in a second, docs.portworx.com. And I can put this in the release notes, the show notes. And we can look at the release notes. Let's go over it. We'll do an upgrade, and there's a new feature that has just been added. So in the release notes, what's new? Active cluster support for high ability. So if you have a pure or ever pure array, flash array, you can set them up in a pod where you have two arrays that are actively syncing the backing volume or the backing file system. And now the CSI supports that, so it really brings high availability, especially for like a VM architecture, to the CSI, which then talks to the array. So high availability, that's the real thing, the real takeaway of that. FlashBlade EXA. So EXA is our massively parallel NFS AI racks and racks and racks. Probably not going to need, if you've got Portworx talking to it, you're probably going to be running Portworx Enterprise to have more control over those volumes. Just as a side note. Subnet aware. So this is pretty cool. If you have multiple iSCSI targets on multiple subnets, now we can actually define which subnet the CSI is going to. Gives a little more granularity, which is nice. Static provisioning for importing existing volumes. So this is nice to have. The way I read it is being able to add in more import basically existing volumes. Okay, gives you a lot more flexibility. New FlashBlade storage class parameters, right? So FlashBlade is going to be using NFS and not iSCSI, so this gives you a few more NFS options, which is good. NVIDIA GPU direct support, that's always good. So one of the nice things about the CSI is it supports iSCSI, but also NVMe over TCP and NVMe over RDMA. Crazy amounts of speed coming out of that. Cool. They got a bunch of resolved issues. And there's a known issue. When we add custom annotations, it removes them during reconciliation loops. Okay. I have not added any custom, and that's kind of a unique edge case. Cool. Doesn't seem like a big one, which is good to know. One of the interesting things about the upgraded CSI is it now supports a CLI, and we'll get to that. Let's kick off the upgrade first, and then we'll go back and take a look at the CLI. Alphabet soup. Love it. Okay, so if we go to the docs, and I'll add this in the show notes as well, we can upgrade the CSI, and that's what we're going to do. So I've got a harvester here running. Let's go to bring in front of me right now. Storage classes. We can see that we got the FA direct access. Great. We can go to volumes. You can see I've got a volume. It's running locally right now. Great. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the docs, and I've got my terminal here. We're going to upgrade. So on other Kubernetes platforms, I'm going to copy this. And to show you kubectl get node, you can see that this is my one R440. So I've got a Dell R440. Let's go ahead and run that spec. Okay. It's basically saying, hey, you didn't specify. There's my namespace. So our operator is 2550. So it's time to upgrade. We'll go in here and again, they're giving me the generic, which is fine. We're smarter than that. So what it's basically saying now is we need to go ahead and upgrade, change the version of the image effectively. So we'll come down here, and there's the image. And what are we upgrading to? So we can go here. It's 25.6. Would be nice for them to actually put it on this page, but that's fine. Oh, that's funny. PX-CTL is gone, but they have a new CLI. There was a matrix. I'll find that. Actually, we need the release notes. There was one I saw earlier. Give me one sec. First aid with the fingers. Nope. Okay. Well, we're going to go, because we know we got these evers, because it's 25.6. So 6.0, and let's make sure image doesn't show up anywhere else. Nope, we're good. Save it. Back to the upgrade. So we edit it. Containers, right? We can take a look at the rollout. That's not as fun as doing a kubectl get pod. And it's creating right now. So it's downloading the new operator. We'll wait for that to complete. And then we can also start thinking about moving on to the actual storage cluster. So remember, CSI uses custom objects, a custom CRD called storage cluster. All right. And so what we can do is we can get, while that's running, we can get that for Portworx. And we can see that we've got, see the version 25.8.1. So we can update that. And see, it says right here, we got to update it. So let's go just see where the operator is. Cool, the operator's done and upgraded, which is good to see. And it will roll the CSI controller potentially. Oh, no, it won't. I'm just kidding, it won't. Okay, now we're stable. Now let's go ahead and edit. Storage. And see where, again, we're just updating the image to 26.1.0. I believe that was the right version. Yep, 26.1.0. And we'll just, again, make sure that that is the only image field we have. And these are status, so we don't need to do that. Edited that. Get pods and get storage cluster. So we can get storage cluster. See, it says 26.1. We can get pods. That was pretty quick. Okay. Let me just check that, because that's interesting that it, I'm just thinking, like, because it's 72 seconds, it should have been like 5 seconds, something small. 26.1, let's edit it. Just validate 26.1. Yeah, it's there. Okay, cool. And we're done. Cool. So let's go ahead and spin up a virtual machine on my, and by the way, this is all on Harvester. And we'll call it 2601 or 2610. And I've already got a template set up for array. Let's go ahead and create that. And log back into my array. We can go to storage, we can go to volumes, we can go to hosts, right? So I've got, by the way, I've got a VM because I was playing with it, CSI and a VM. I've also got the R440. Here's our volumes. There's our 66 gig PVC. Come back here, it's pending. Why are we pending? Get PVC-A. And okay. Wait, there we go. Why are you pending? That's not good. The object has been modified. I wonder if it didn't update the storage class. Because that would be pretty silly, wouldn't it? Oh, it's pretty generic. So we updated the operator, and then we went to upgrade the CSI. We saw the operator bounce. We edited it. See, this is what I'm kind of curious about. Version 6.0. But it was created because it was a 66 gig. Let's try this again. Let's do virtual machines. Oh, it says it's running now. Maybe I just wasn't patient. That could be a thing. Let's look at the console. 161. Yeah, I was not patient enough. I'm so used to like local NVMe being like super quick. Let's do this. Okay, it's bound. I was being impatient. I love that. Okay, so we're bound. What was the number? Just to prove to you. 161. So we can... And what we can do for giggles, let's go ahead and look at the dashboard. We can look at the traffic. We should start to see some more traffic going, because now we're actually writing stuff. There we go. See how it's starting to pick up. And we can go into storage, volumes. Right, now we can see the individual volume, analysis, performance. We can look at the volumes, volume, like specifically that one. So that's kind of cool as we're creating data on it. Okay. I'm done. I was impatient. Okay, so we have the CSI upgraded. That was pretty easy. It worked as expected. Just me being impatient. Cool. Now let's talk about the CLI. So this is a new thing with the CSI 26.1.0. And basically it is a local binary that you would use in conjunction with kubectl. And the install process, while not ideal for Mac OS, is the same for Mac and Linux. And basically, you're downloading a binary from Central, a zip from Central, uncompressing it, and copy the files. Pretty straightforward. Verify the installation. So I've done that already on this node. So if we do PX, let's do PX version. And you can see we've got the version, right? We go down here, it says connect to a PX-CSI. I've already done this. I've already got it connected. I mean, this is basically just saying make sure you've got the kubectl config set up correctly. And now we can do a PX-CSI status. And we can see that I've got it plugged in. I've got telemetry turned off for obvious reasons. Cool. A couple of things we can do. Let's go to the documentation. Command reference, PX-CTL, alerts, auth, cloud, cluster. Let's look at the cluster. So let's do PX-CTL cluster. Oh, this is, no, it's not PX-CTL. I'm sorry. Oh, PX-based, okay. Control A. And well, let me go back. That's fine. There we go. Oh, they've changed it around. Status. Oh, run. Okay. On an individual node. So kube get node. Dash NR440. Right? That's exactly what I'm doing. Failed to collect active nodes for PX-CTL. So maybe that's not working. What is PX-CLI? Oh, maybe I've got to use, okay. That's confusing. Because we're using the CSI, we have to use the CSI. PX-CSI. So let's say status. Okay, there we go. So that's what it wants us to run. Okay, so that's the same thing as what we ran earlier. So kubectl px and then the namespace list. Say list backend. Copy that, make it my life easy. And we can see that there is, okay, so this is cool, right? So we can see the arrays that are configured and it's valid. We can look at snapshots, volumes. So these are all the volumes that are sitting on the array. And the way we can validate it, right? Volume ID, backend volume ID. Remember, we still have storage volumes. Say 598, and we can see 598. So there's that 10 gig volume, and that's just the image, and then 486 and 486. Perfect. So what else can we do? We got list. We got inspect. Let's inspect something. We're not going to worry about a snapshot. Let's inspect a volume. And let's pick our active one with the VM. Cool. So this is one of the things they did demo internally. Is this idea that, okay, let's look at a volume. What does it mean to Portworx? And what we can actually see here is we can see that we're actually using iSCSI, and these are the two targets. So we can validate from an infrastructure standpoint of view that multipath's working. It is talking to both of the flash array iSCSI controllers, which is great. So again, kind of proving out the high availability. Images, what else do we got? We got images, diags. Let's run a diag. Let's run a diags all. What could go wrong with that, right? And this may take a second. There we go. Oh, so this was the diag report. So it created me the tarball. Nice. Collects diagnostics, all that. So if you're ever opening a support ticket or working, with support, you can send that to them. Okay. Delete, create backends, create cluster keys. Because one of the things that right now is kind of a manual step is this idea that you have to go ahead and create, so here, run, prepare your environment. It's this pure.json. You have to go ahead and create this pure.json that describes, there's multipath. Where's an example of it? Here it is, right? You have to describe where it is, the management endpoints, things like that. What this is going to potentially eliminate is it's going to create the cluster key and the backend to allow you to talk to the array. So hopefully it'll streamline, once this gets a little more mature, it'll streamline that creation process. So you don't have to manually create the JSON, pure.json. Cool. I hope this was interesting and valuable a little bit. The new CSI is out. Again, go to DZVer to find the latest versions, and it'll take you to like release notes and docs and things like that. And upgrade if you got it. If not, buy an array, right? Hope you had a good day. Hope you're going to have a good day. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it.